Wild West has quite a few guns. No, actually, scratch that. It has like a lot of them. And all of them do what you'd expect a gun to do. They fucking shoot things. What did you expect? The Peacekeeper is pretty obviously trying to imitate the Colt single action army. But like, it fucking sucks! In the game, the gun has a swing out cylinder, more akin to the high standard double 9, which wasn't produced until the mid-1950s. In real life, you load the bullets through the loading gate on the side of the gun, which is not depicted in the game. Also, the model used in game is really outdated. It's like super angular, with no iron sights and barely resembles the original gun at all. I will give them some slack because they have shown off a really good revamped version, which I'm guessing is coming in progression. The Smith & Wesson Model 3 has very little problems when it comes to appearance. The model and the way the gun works generally looks accurate, but according to context clues for when the game takes place, it makes little to no sense why they wouldn't sail the Schofield instead. The next one is really painful for me. Yeah, the Wild West version of the LeMat hurts me on a personal level. So let's begin with the model itself. It's fine. The LeMat has a pretty recognizable shapes, and to be honest, the devs did a pretty good job. Sure, could use an update, along with the entire gun itself, but it's acceptable. The LeMat is perhaps best known for having a 9-shot cylinder and an underbarrel shotgun. Yeah, the game version has basically none of these features, and is just a juiced up Peacekeeper with horrible accuracy. Hell, even Westbound got this correctly! Are you proud of yourself, Starboard? Because I'm not. The original gun is a cap and ball percussion revolver, just like the Patterson Navy and the Savage Navy. But because it was one of the first guns to be added in the game, it uses the same mechanism and animation as the Peacekeeper. Yes, there were in fact cartridge-fed versions as well, but since they are not modeled in the game, it doesn't count. Sonoff generally looks fine, but it just doesn't work like this. When reloading, the player doesn't cock the hammers, which means the gun straight up won't fire. Second issue is that the shells don't eject. Sure, could be a model that doesn't do that, but the players don't even, like, remove them, so what? Also, the lever on the top of the gun doesn't even move, so you can't even reload it unless it's broken. Next up is the Savage Navy. For those who don't know what's special about this gun is that you fire normally, but have to pull a small lever which moves the cylinder and cocks the hammer. Although it's not super clear while shooting, the game does in fact depict it pretty well. I'm pretty sure the lever itself doesn't move, but it's genuinely impossible to tell because of the camera. As for the reload, I think Starboard made a pretty good decision not making it realistic. Cap and ball revolvers take quite a long time to reload, which wouldn't be fun or practical in a gunfight. Even Red Dead 2, a game known for its highly detailed and realistic animation, doesn't make the player wait a minute for 6 shots. Yes, it is inaccurate, but I'm glad they did it because of the gameplay perspective. The model itself is fine. The Dragoon revolving shotgun. Just like the LeMat, pretty much everything except the model is wrong. First off, it's not a shotgun, it's another cap and ball revolver. I don't know where they got the shotgun part from, but the only source I could find was an old gun auction site, which had it listed as 40 gauge. Gauge measurement is mostly used for shotguns, so it might be because of that, but I don't know. Also, they changed a lot of stuff like the reload and how you cycle the gun for what I'm guessing is gameplay purposes or a lack of information. So basically, to reload the gun you have to use the loading lever, just like with the real LeMat, Patterson and Savage Navy. But like we've discussed, that wouldn't be fun. Instead, they opted for a break open design. That is, like, just not how it works. Also, for each shot you have to manually move the cylinder to cycle the gun. To be fair, that would not be fun at all, so I get why they didn't include that part. But it's also inaccurate, so you know. It's pretty understandable why they got most of this wrong. After hours of research, I only found a single video on the gun, and it only showed the rifle version. The only actual difference is it has a really long barrel and a stock. The Lency double shot pistol is really good actually. As the name would suggest, it has one chamber but can fire 2 shots. As far as I know, there's nothing super inaccurate to the real thing. It works pretty much the same as it does in the game, but the reload is simplified for gameplay purposes. The lock revolver, isn't real, for the most part. According to the wiki, it's based on the,
Le Faucheux
M1854. Yeah, I don't really see the resemblance here. So, if we were to compare them, the game version is a revolver with 6 bullets that fires in 3 bursts, or 2 shots per trigger pull. As far as I know, no revolver ever used this design, and to be completely honest, I don't see why they would. A quote-unquote real one, it's just a normal 6-shooter. The reload is also wrong. It suffers from the same problem as the Lamette, the Peacekeeper. The stupid swing out cylinder wasn't used in any of these guns, but for some reason, Starboard kept bringing it back. Like, I'm happy they're kind of moving away from it now, but like, still, man. The real one has the same reload as the single action army, with a loading gate on the side. I'm very tempted to say the lock isn't real, but I actually just don't know. The Hammerless revolver, also known as the lemon squeezer, is a double-action revolver with a hidden hammer and break-and-open design for reloading. Nothing super noteworthy about this one, maybe a little too big with too small iron sights. I would give it an knock for being too silent, but I can see that being a nod to the fact that it's meant for easy concealment. And as far as I know, no suppressor attachment was ever made for this, but it looks cool, so I'll give it a pass. Okay, so we're officially at the point where I'm too poor to buy any of these, so I had to go around begging for footage. The Geiko pistol, or the Geiko if you're feeling fancy about it, is a really cool inclusion, but it also sucks. So basically, the original gun is a 30-round double-action pistol. Double-action basically just means that it has a really heavy trigger pull, which both cocks the hammer and cycles the gun. Yeah, in the game it's fully automatic for some reason. Reload is correct for the most part, but it could not be done this quick, even if you tried. So basically, for every shot that you reload, you have to pull the trigger once, which then cycles the gun and moves the chain up by 1, which means that you can reload another shot. This goes on for 30 to 40 bullets, and the entire process is slow as hell. The Schwar Slow's prototype pistol is actually really well represented. The model is good, how it's loaded, all of that is mostly correct, but there's a couple things that's not entirely right. My only real issues with the gun is with the reload and a couple things with the model. So basically, when every shot is fired, the slide is supposed to lock open, like with a lot of modern pistols. I don't know why, they just didn't feel like modeling that, I guess. The only thing that's really missing is the little, like, finger groove for your thumb, so it makes it easier when firing. And a small sling mount on the back of the grip, so you can hook it to your belt or something. The Lancaster is weird, man. It's actually a pretty small pistol, but for some reasons, the developers just made the barrel shorter and made it buff as shit. Why is it so big, man? Turn this small 4-round pistol made to defend yourself against medium-sized wildlife into a fucking hand cannon. Why? Everything else is fairly well represented. The bullets eject automatically when it's opened, which is accurate. Because of how the gun is designed, you can put pretty much any type of ammo in it, including some of the really strong ones. Strong enough to do this though? No. The Patterson Navy is, fuck, man. So, to the untrained eye, this may look like a Colt Patterson. So basically, the Patterson Navy is a Frankenstein abomination made of parts of the Colt Navy, Walker, Dragoon, and Patterson. The best way to describe it would be generic Civil War era Colt revolver, because that's literally what it is. Alright, so what's so wrong about it? One of the most interesting features of the Patterson is the flip-down trigger. Instead, the developers chose to add a generic trigger area more akin to that of a Colt Dragoon. It has the unique Patterson grip, but it's stapled onto the frame of the Colt Navy. The hammer is from the Patterson, but the area behind the cylinder has the little loading grooves from every gun but the Patterson. And it's not even on the wrong side, it's on both sides now, even though the gun never had it in the first place. The cylinder itself is weirdly angular and has the bullet capacity of 6 instead of 5. The loading lever is from the Patterson, but it goes too far into the frame and is not used during the reload. So most of the parts are either on the wrong side or from an entire different Civil War era revolver. The Admiral's axe gun has no glaring problems with the model itself and the reload and firing. Only real mistake I could find is that the game says it's made by the Swedish Navy. Yes, it was in fact used by the Swedish Navy, but it was made and manufactured in Germany. Not sure why, but the Volcanic pistol kinda looks stupid to me. Something about the size is just off. It's supposed to be the normal sized one, which does in fact hold 8 rounds, but the model has the size of the large version, barrel of the pocket version, and the capacity of the normal version. So all in all, it kinda just looks like a Volcanic pistol with an identity crisis. The Mauser is okay, but has a couple small problems that become really distracting if you think too hard about it. It's modeled after the normal version, but somehow has the automatic fire despite there being no select fire Mausers until the early 1930s. The select fire Mausers also didn't come with internal magazines. The automatic firing is also an issue on the prototype, I just forgot to mention that earlier. Alright, so we've now gone over every single gun currently in the game, at least for the sidearms. The sneak peeks have some of the most interesting guns on this list, so now we're gonna go over some of them. Just to mention, all of this could change very quickly, so just take all I have to say with a grain of salt. In 2023, Starboard revealed that a rare 12-shot revolver was coming to the game. Well, this is a Walsh revolver, kinda. So basically, they did the thing again where they take multiple guns and staple them together, and that's a issue too. So the in-game model has the body and grip of the basic Walsh 10-round double-shot revolver, while the barrel and cylinder are taken from the Walsh Navy. Why did they do this? I don't know. My only guess right now is that they're planning to replace the lock revolver with a gun that actually has the same function and exists. Like the Walsh. So what makes this gun so special? So basically, both models of the Walsh had extra long cylinders so they could fit 2 rounds in each chamber. It also has double hammers, which I think is being modeled correctly, but it's hard to tell. Next up is the Smith & Wesson Model 2. Not much to say here, it's pretty accurate. The model looks good, the animations are good, pretty much perfect. Next is the Remington revolver. Looks good, can't really say much because they only ever release a single picture of it, but from what I've seen, looks good. The very last one we're gonna look at is what I'm thinking is supposed to be a Remington Zigzag Derringer. The only real issue I could find is the fact that it has 5 shots instead of 6, but other than that, it looks pretty good. Well, that was all the sidearms. If you liked the video, then like the video, and then subscribe. Alright, bye!